Welcome to The Real Juggle. I'm your host, Jackie Taylor, and I'm so grateful that you made the decision to join me today. It's not lost on me that we have choices, and in my mid-40s, I realized that we get to choose where we want to be. And so I appreciate that you chose to join me for this discussion today. I wanted to share a little story. A girlfriend and I were talking recently, and she reached out to me. It was in between conference calls, if that's such a thing, because most of us are kind of back to back with our conference calls. But I only had a space because one call ended early, so I had a little window, and we were chatting. And she was just super stressed out and just sharing that, she was frustrated with the way work was going. She had told her direct boss that she would take the job and focus on that particular position, but that her passion was really in another area that was more philanthropic, related to equity and diversity and things like that. So, she took the role. They agreed that she would do that for a year, but to energize her, he would assign projects that were related to things that she really enjoyed. So she was a little down because even though she had committed to spending a year in that role, it started to get really transactional and feel, like grunge work. And so she was just saying that she wasn't motivated. She woke up in the morning and she didn't necessarily feel like doing the work or going to the office. So I listened to her and she was like, what do you think? Do you think I should just get another job? Do you think I should just say something? And I thought about it. And I said to her, it's interesting because she's usually the one giving me good advice. But when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see the forest for the trees. I said, I think you have a couple of choices, because at the end of the day, what you're passionate about, what you get excited about versus your career or your profession that pays the bills are not the same. They're not aligned. And you attempted to get them somewhat aligned by splitting your time. But at the end of the day, the split of time between your profession, right, your day-to-day work, and you doing the thing that energizes you isn't sufficient. So you have a couple of choices. You can go to your leader and you can say, look, I misspoke. After 90 days, this probably isn't working, and see if there's an opportunity for you to swap. Or, no, nobody wants to be miserable. You can make the jump and do something that's 100% aligned with your passion, your profession. You're basically getting paid to do something you enjoy. And so she has yet to decide what she's going to do, but I thought of that conversation because it is so directly in alignment with today's discussion around the intersection of passion and profession. Because somebody I know who has done a really good job of that, and I've always admired this in her, is the Queen of Smiles, who is with me today. Hey, Dr. Catrice Austin. She is a trailblazer in the field of dentistry, award-winning. In fact, you may have seen her a few places. Essence Fest, I know I've seen you a few times. She's supporting Colgate, Listerine, Sensodyne, just providing tips to everyday consumers around, dentistry and good dental hygiene. But I want to note, she's the world's top 100 doctors by the Global Summit Institute, top 25 women in dentistry, right? Dental Products Report magazine, and Clear's most influential dentist in America, just because of all she does in the space. That's you. That's me. I just want people to know who they're watching and listening to so that they get context. I didn't want to jump right in without setting the stage. I can see people now. I saw her on Dr. Oz. I saw her on the Today Show. The last time we connected, I'm going to remind you, I was literally leaving New Jersey, going to the city. You're in your head, you're on your phone, you're doing all types of things. And I sit back on the ferry boat from Weehawken. And I sit back on the ferry boat and I'm looking and I'm like, that's Catrice. You're on the ferry boat. Do you remember me texting?
I remember that. Because I was trying something different and people were like, you don't really see a Black dentist on a ferry boat advertisement. Maybe the subway, something like that. But the ferry boat, yeah.
It worked. And there were so many people commuting. So job well done. But one of the things that I think that has always been something striking about you is you're not just a dentist. You're a dentist to the stars, right? Yeah. So listen, I'm not in that realm. I'm no Cardi B, but when I went to your office, when I used to work in the city and I was, you could see like the photos and the pictures. Mm-hmm. And so and then you love music. You love entertainment. entertainment. So how did you do that? How did you connect, something that's usually viewed as like medical field, sterile, STEM with entertainment?
Yeah, and thank you for all of that. I only came to New York City, so I thought, for a year. Went to dental school in Baltimore, and I was coming to New York to do this year of hospital residency because that 1 year of training was equivalent to 2 years of work experience. So during that year, I had been in school all my life, and I hadn't really had a life. So I hit the streets of New York, and one of the girls in my program was a big comedy fan. So we used to go to this comedy club in the Village called the Boston Comedy Club. Sunday nights was the urban night. And for $5, which was in my new budget for graduation as a dentist, I would go and see some of these young budding comedians, a young Kevin Hart, a young Tracy Morgan, a young Mike Epps, a young Leslie Jones. All of those people used to be there every weekend. And so I started to make friends with comedians. Well, comedians usually open up for music acts. So as I'm hanging out and getting to know comedians, and I'm thinking about what am I going to do after I finish this training this year? Am I going back to Baltimore, going back to Michigan? They were like, you should stay. You should stay in New York. Like, we've never met a dentist that looked like you. You're young, you're under 30, you're cool. Like, we would come to you. Well, if I am hanging out with entertainers, I'm in these New York streets in the 90s when it was popping. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay, and I'm going to be the dentist to the stars. It was just that this is who I'm hanging out with. I'm in the streets. I'm bumping into celebrities all the time. Why not be the dentist to the stars? There were a few white dentists that were doing it, seeing a lot of the supermodels and stuff and the basketball players. But I was like, there's nobody that looks like me that's doing it. So I just literally, during that first year, didn't have an office, put it on my business card, made some flyers because I saw the music.
Wait, you put that on your business card?
Oh, yeah. Dr. Catrice Austin, Dentist to the Stars, didn't have. I was faking it till I made it. And then I saw that the way that the music industry promoted is they did flyers, and they would promote their CDs and music via flyers. So I'm like, I'm going to make some flyers. I'm going to hit the streets while they're giving out these bad boy flyers. I'm going to give out these dental flyers. And so I'm in Puffy's restaurant on a Tuesday, because on Tuesdays he used to have it where it was a restaurant.
He had Justin's
right? On Tuesdays, yes. And so every Tuesday, Puffy knows everybody. All the A-listers would be in Justin's on Tuesday. So I would be at Justin's. And one day I see the legendary Isaac Hayes, and I'm like, oh my God, my mom used to play his records all the time. I'm just going to go over there and interrupt this dinner. I may never see this man again. So I'm going over there, and I'm going to tell him who I am and what I do, and let's see what happens. And when I went over there, I gave him my little elevator pitch. Hey, I'm Dr. Catrice Austin. I'm a dentist here. I don't know if you have a dentist or if you're not happy with your dentist. I would love to be your dentist, Mr. Isaac Hayes. And when he looked at me, looked at this card, he was like, I ain't never met a dentist that looked like you. Would you like to sit down and have dinner with me? And that was it. That we had a wonderful dinner. And once we got to know each other, he was like, if you want to be the dentist to the stars, I'm going to help you. And so I literally became a part of his entourage. He introduced me to the Grammys. He took me to the Acapulco Black Film Festival. I was basically a part of his entourage. And he made sure. Let me find
out you got Isaac Hayes to be your first marketing.
My first client. Yep.
And your first client.
Yeah, my first client.
So would you describe yourself? Because when we talk on The Real Juggle, sometimes it's different personalities for different. So you have entrepreneurs who are introverts, extroverts, and you were really courageous. You said, you know what? I may never see this person. What do I have to lose? Would you describe yourself as an extrovert, or how would you describe your personality?
I'm a little bit of both, because I grew up as an only child until I was 15. So I have those moments, like during the pandemic, I was A-okay because I know how to be by myself. But then I am a total party animals, extrovert, love people. So I can move with both sides, which is
I call myself a functional introvert.
Yes. I don't mind being by myself at all. But when it's time to go on, I'm on. I'm all over social media. When I'm out and about, I am the life of the party. You're going to see me on tables and all of that stuff.
So you got started and you came up with your niche because you were going to the comedy shows. You know, you just justify for every college student why they go out to party. It's all a part of their
career. Yeah.
So do you feel at this point, even though I can look on the outside, but from the inside, from your vantage point, do you feel like you have gotten to the point yet where your passion, the things that energizes you, that has intersection with your job, with your profession?
Oh, 100%. Like, and that was I designed, like, once I had that niche, once I identified who was going to be my target, and let's be clear, the entertainers don't pay the bills. It's the everyday hardworking person that pays the bills. Okay. That's just the icing on the cake, because half the time they don't want to pay. They want their stuff for free. They miss their appointments and all of that. Nonetheless, the beauty of it is inspiring the everyday hardworking person that they deserve to have a smile, whether it's just a healthy smile or if they desire to look better, they want to have a more confident, perfect smile, that they deserve it and they can achieve it too. And so now when I am on social media or I'm speaking, my goal is to let you guys know who desire to have a beautiful, healthy, confident smile like the stars, no matter what your profession is, that you can achieve it. I got affordable ways you can get the job done. I got payment, I got all kinds of things. So any objection that you have, I got to answer. You don't have money to pay me full price? Well, you could go to NYU. They do veneers. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? No. My friend went there and got the whole set for like $5,000. So yeah, so my job is to let everybody know.
Plan, right?
Yeah, there's payment plans. There's so many options outside of flying overseas, because now that's what people think they got to do to be able to afford it, and you don't. So that's my job, to let you guys know, hey, if you want a healthy smile, this is what you got to do. If you want a beautiful smile, this is what you want to do, or this is where you can go. This is how you can pay for it. If you're scared, this is what you need to, what your options are. Any objection, I'm breaking down. I got a solution for all your problems.
I just love that, because I'm all about just figuring it out. And what you're sharing are the tips and examples and actual resources. You could go here. There are universities, there are schools to get it. So I love, love, love that. When I think about it, just in preparation for this, conversation, I hadn't realized the correlation between healthy teeth and mental health. And now with, what we're seeing with a lot of people who are secretly struggling with depression and anxiety and things like that, why don't you talk a little bit around that correlation between dental hygiene or, your dental health and gum disease impact and mental health?
Well, so a lot of times the mental health can come with the poor oral hygiene and a lot of the tooth loss, and the ability to not be able to eat and function and have a good quality of life. So it really comes down to quality of life. People who can't afford to go to the dentist and they feel like they got to suffer with pain, and that weighs a toll on your entire mental state. I don't know if you've ever had a toothache or anything like that, Jackie, but I had a wisdom tooth. And when that baby decided to kick in and hurt, it messed with my whole head. It was traumatizing.
It was physical and emotional at the same time.
Physical, emotional, because you want to do something about it. And I happened to be overseas when it happened to me. So I was like, I don't want to go to a dentist in a foreign country. I just got to deal with this pain until I get back. But being poor and not being able to address your needs, not having access to care, all those things can lead to depression. And when you think about it, your smile is so important because it can affect your job search or your career success, your dating life,
and your self-esteem.
Your self-esteem. Right? Yeah. People might talk about you and you may not develop friends and be able to network like you want to. So it affects all of that. All of that is mental.
So I'm hearing two ways. So it could, the causation could be that you have dental issues cosmetically and it affects your self-image and things like that, which could cause depression. Or your, physical image could be fine, but because you're depressed maybe and not getting up every day and bathing and brushing your teeth, you could cause dental problems as a result. So it's
absolutely, it goes both ways. Yeah.
I'm so glad you shared some resources so that, we don't get stuck, right? Stuck in the wrong spot. So now one of the most notable clients of yours, Cardi B. In fact, that was kind of cool how you're in the song.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, that was cool. I said, I know the person that she's talking about.
That she's talking about.
My kids tell me I'm a cornball. I just tell them about that connection. So talk to me about like how that impacted her, because folks will assume that she's Cardi B. Like there's nothing she should be insecure about. Tell me about that experience.
Well, when I worked with her in 2016, she wasn't the Cardi B that she is today. And she was on that show. She was a new cast member on Love and Hip Hop. She had this amazing personality and she was likable, but she had this one barrier that people was talking about on Twitter, on Instagram. And as confident as she is, and she portrays herself to be, deep down, and I know it firsthand because when people, I just recently closed my gap. And I know that people were coming for me about my gap in my teeth being a cosmetic dentist. So I know they were really coming for her. And she's one of those celebrities that reads all the comments, and you can tell she responds to everything. It's stuff that really affects her. And so as confident as she was, it really was weighing on her self-esteem. And in her mind, if I get my teeth fixed, then what else can people talk about? I done took away that one thing the only thing that y'all been talking about me for is these teeth. So once I get these teeth done, there's nothing else you can talk about. That's it. And so when that relationship came from Mona Scott Young being a client of mine back in the early 2000s. She sent me a lot of her celebrity roster, but when she went on to do Love and Hip Hop, she said, you know what, Cardi B is ready to get her teeth done and I want you to do it. And I have a hit list of all the people I want to work with, and she was on it. So I was like, yes. Wow. And I also knew that this smile makeover was probably going to be one of the biggest challenges of my life because it was going to be very public. And, her smile was not that perfect. So it was a lot of pressure to make sure that this smile came out to be exceptional. Well, so your girl had to like do her push-ups and eat her
all the tricks.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? It's game on. It's game on. I got to show the world how I get down in terms of my cosmetic dentistry. And I had been doing veneers and stuff for many, many years, and I honed my skills, take the CE courses. So I knew that I could do it. And when I got that opportunity, I'm like, I'm about to show people what I'm all about, and I'm about to change her life. And for her to put that in the song, her appreciation. And she told me I could have gone at this point. So many people wanted to do my teeth for free, but I wanted to go to somebody Black. I wanted to go to someone female. And so for that, very thankful that she really wanted to support Black and female. And I'm very thankful that she thought so fondly of her smile transformation that she put it in that song. And the day that song
now, forever.
Right? I am in great. I mean, she didn't reference my name, but people still Google to this day. I still get clients who want their veneers literally every single day because of Cardi's smile. And the day that song went #1 is the next day when TMZ called my office and was like, were you the dentist that she was talking about in Bodak Yellow? And once I did that TMZ interview, because I didn't know TMZ really is the funnel to all the other news outlets. And that's when it just went berserk.
Wow. Now she said, just for the record, she said she dropped a bag for it, but Dr. Austin told you she's got options and alternatives if you want to say.
Lots of them.
If you want the same scar treatment. That's just awesome. But what I heard was something else. So you have an influence beyond just, fixing her smile and helping her self-esteem. You said that she started out saying, if I just do this, then what else will they have to complain about? And if you fast forward to 2022 now, and this is just human nature, you can do these things. I'm glad she did it because it seems like it really boosted her self-confidence. And what's inside is what matters. But people are going to talk. They are always going to talk.
Always.
So we can't base our mental health, our stability, et cetera, on other people. because we will never be steady state, you know?
Yeah,
so,
she did it for her, but she also did it because she knew she was going to do more TV. And look, she's on the red carpet. She's gracing magazines. So it was a career move as well.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So, you know, the show is The Real Juggle, where we talk about just the balance of everything. And you are a podcaster, an author, award-winning dentist, et cetera. But level with us, what is your juggle? Like when we talk to Dr. Catrice Austin, or we just talk to Catrice, what are the things that you juggle?
I juggle outside of business.
You can include it. Everything that you juggle.
Yeah, I'm juggling. Okay, so I'm juggling definitely 3 businesses now in 2 locations, Michigan and New York. So I'm going from state to state. I'm juggling family, making sure, you know, the last couple of years, you have come to realize that family is important. You don't know how long you got with your family. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm spending time with family. I'm trying to spend time and nurture my friendships. And I'm trying to juggle my personal health and make sure that I'm taking care of my mental, my physical. And I am juggling, still trying to get out and have some fun in life. Like, you feel with the pandemic that life is over, but there are ways that you can still enjoy life and take care of yourself and make sure that you're living your best life, even though things are a little bit different. So personal, work, family, friendships are things that I am juggling right now.
Thank you for sharing that. So from what we see, you are doing an amazing job of it. And what I love is that you intersected your passion with dentistry, right? And you're doing that, but you are constantly evolving, because what energizes us in, 10 years from now is different from what energizes us today. So talk a little bit about the wonderful stuff that you're doing for burgeoning entrepreneurs who are trying to get their branding and their marketing together.
Yes. So to follow up on the Isaac Hayes story, the next thing after I got him as a client, my mom was like, "You need a publicist." And I'm like, "What's a publicist?" And I learned that the publicist is the person that can blow your business up and get you that exposure. And she told me to call Eddie Murphy's publicist, Terry Williams. Just cold call her and wait.
You got to back up there, because folks are taking copious notes, and people don't just say, just call Eddie Murphy's publicist.
Right. Just
is
call her.
Mother in the industry, or is she just like,
no, she's not in the industry, but she's a younger mother, and she's very in tune with entertainment, and she goes to conferences and like she's really into personal development. And she went to a women's conference and saw Terry speak. So, so you want to be this dentist as stars? You got Isaac Hayes? Just call her up, cold call her. And I do. And Terry says the same. She says, "Wow, this is a great story. I think you would be amazing to get your story out there. But I charge about $50,000 a month. I work with big corporate and entertainers. You can't afford me, but why don't you call my girlfriend, Renee Foster?" And Renee, when I called her, was like, I love your story. I don't have a dentist. Why don't we just barter services? Why don't we barter? I do your PR and you do my teeth. Just make sure my teeth are clean twice a year and we're good. And that's what happened. So I started to learn the art of PR. And then I started taking marketing and PR courses all throughout my dental journey, to the point where I kind of know the game. So now, after 25 years of kind of learning the PR and marketing game, once I sold my business in 2017, I was like, you know what? People are always calling me. Can they pick my brain? How do I do this? How do they get on TV? After 2 years of putting this together, I have finally launched my How to Become a Celebrity course. Nice. 5 strategies to get noticed and build a celebrity brand. And that is what I'm doing now. Working on the book. I did How to Become a Celebrity Doctor. in the pandemic. And now I'm just making it broad because the message and the strategy doesn't just work for doctors, it works for the general population. So now I'm teaching everybody.
Second edition of your book.
Second edition,
targeted to
any entrepreneur.
Perfect.
Anybody, we call it celebrity entrepreneur. Any entrepreneur that wants to be in the true definition of celebrity is the state of being well known. So if we are entrepreneurs, are we in business to not be known or well known? No, we should all want to be a celebrity entrepreneur where your message is all over the globe. When somebody thinks dentist or someone thinks podcaster, that they are thinking about you top of mind. And that's what I'm teaching people to do.
So for those who are listening, because I do a lot of mentoring with small businesses, women-owned businesses, Black and Latinx businesses, veteran-owned businesses. So, you've got a wide net. For those who are listening and you've piqued their interest, how can they get a taste of what you do in that space?
Yes, you can go to VIPinnercircle.club. I'm going to let you into my inner circle, VIPinnercircle.club. And listen, it is a $7 a month membership. Where every $7. See, I got to make this stuff affordable. $7 a month. You're going to get access to me. Every week I'm dropping a video that will tackle one of my 5 strategies, either learning how to target your audience and build a brand message, learning the art of social media and not making mistakes where your page and your profile don't even get seen. I think every entrepreneur needs to be an author. That is the very first thing that's going to make you an authority in your field. And then once you're an author and you have your profile and everything is set up, then I'm going to teach you how to get on TV. And finally, I'm going to teach you how to get that elevator pitch down so you can pitch to brands and get those big brand deals. A lot of times they will find you if your social media and all the other things are together. But if you need to pitch to a particular brand, we're going to teach you how to pitch, how to walk up to an Isaac Hayes and do an elevator pitch. We're going to teach you all of that stuff in the club every single week for $7, every month. $7.
You are giving away all the secret sauce. I'm sure you have maybe 1 or 2 examples of maybe small business owners that you've worked with who have gone through those steps. Can you just give us an example of someone who's gone through the steps and what they got out of it?
Yeah. So far let me talk about 2 people. They're both dentists. So one is a dentist and writer in Africa, Carla Pontes. Mm-hmm. And from my teachings, she was like, she actually sent me the journals. She'd never been in a dental journal before, but she was able to submit some of her writings, and she was published in major dental publications. She didn't know how to get in publications before, but now she feels so proud to share that she can say that she's a published writer now. And then Dr. Darwin Hayes is actually the dental director of the state of New Jersey, big title. And his niche is teaching young dental students or inspiring dental students how to get into dental school, or if you already graduated dental school, how do you get into a residency program? Because it's really, really competitive now. So he has, when he came to me, he didn't have any kind of coaching programs. He didn't have no automated system. He would just email everybody, hand type. Now he has an automated process of how he takes his customer from the inquisitory stage to through his system and funnel to get his coaching programs. And now he's teaching, he's got international students because now his message isn't local. He's learned how to master the internet and to do some campaigns. And now he's coaching people on Zoom internationally and helping these foreign dentists come over here and get into dental school, which they all want to come over here and learn how to become a dentist. So he's doing some big things. And The only thing he's got to do that I want him to do that he hasn't done is I'm on him to write the darn book.
Exactly. I need him you need to start a publishing company because you're cycling all these people into books. You may
I might as well, right?
No, but this is great to hear. I'm so excited that you've been able to kind of, push your brand and evangelize your brand as a celebrity dentist, but then translate that into teachings for other people to also kind of follow in your footsteps. So appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you joined us. I heard 3 major things from Dr. Austin today. So many things, but number 1, take care of your teeth. It is a pipeline into your mental health, into your mood.
And your overall health.
Your everything overall, the connectivity between your dental health and the rest of your staying in balance is so important. So that's number 1. Mm-hmm. The second thing I heard is be courageous. You know, whether it was your outreach to Isaac Hayes or doing something differently. I mean, most of you guys heard, she put that on the business card before it was a reality. So her vision became that reality.
Law of attraction.
Yes, I think I'm big. The Celestine prophecy, law of attraction, I'm there. So that's the second thing that I heard that's, you know, loud and clear. And then the third thing overarching in this whole conversation, so I appreciate it, is just follow your passion.
Follow your passion.
With you. Yeah. I mean, so many conversations around your career and your calling, paying the bills and doing what actually you enjoy and what lifts you. In this day and age, life is too short. Life is
too
short to spend time doing things that don't serve you. And so if Dr. Austin can be another example of why it's so important to align your passion and profession, then we did our job. And you got the resource with how to get your veneers just in case you're on a budget.
You know, and I have to tell you that when I made the switch, when I sold my business, I actually lost a lot of friends. I realized that people, I had friends that, you know, I would give discounts to and so forth. And when that hookup, because I didn't have my own practice anymore, when that went away, people stopped calling. When they saw me doing something different and not being that their primary dentist, it was like, well, I don't have any use for her now. So
how did that affect you? Because that had to be, I wouldn't have expected, did you expect it or just?
I didn't, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, I'm selling my practice, you know, like there's like 10,000 other dentists out here. Like, you know, you'll find another dentist, but I didn't think that my relationships would like really big relationships. And it was like, wow. So that's what this was like. This was based on me being able to hook you up and you get your dental stuff. Wow.
Wow. That's telling.
And even I broke a lot of people's hearts. Like some of my patients that have been coming to me for 20 years, it was like, man, you know, they're like, they still want to like be, they don't want to see another dentist. And I get it. And it
was like a breakup. It was basically.
It was like a breakup. It was like a breakup. So that was a little challenging, but it's. I hope.
Was it worth it? Like now that you look in hindsight, was it worth it?
Yeah. Because I sold my business because I wanted to do something different and selling. You know, my lease was up. That was the catalyst. My lease was up, and I could have signed another 10-year lease, or I could do something different. And I was like, man, if I sign this lease, I'm gonna be stuck doing the same thing for the next 10 years. And I decided to take a leap of faith and just do something different.
Well, I'm glad you did it because number one, if that wasn't serving you the same way anymore, then you have to do what's right for you. But the second thing is, look how many dozens and hundreds of people and businesses and whoever they impact, that ripple effect, you are now going to be able to,
Yes.
So thank God for staying focused on what's important. I want to thank you again for joining the show. Appreciate you as always. And I love you whether you have a practice or not, just so you know.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you guys for joining, listening, watching us via YouTube again today. I hope that this helps you as you continue on your personal juggle. So go about your day, whether you tuned in while you're on your way to or from work, at the supermarket, or running errands. And I want to ask you again to be kind, be a blessing, and be yourself. Thanks for joining.